Christian Kirk is primarily playing in the slot, with Evan Ingram also in the slot. So Zay Jones is getting the role. And Jones last year was wide receiver 26 in fantasy points. This is a former second-round pick, so good pedigree out of East Carolina, caught everything thrown his way in college. And I mean, 40th, 4.45 40-yard dash, 80th percentile speed, 82nd percentile speed score, 93rd percentile catch radius. Zay Jones catches everything. It may not be very far down the field. His yards per reception, only 10 last year, but 82 receptions, 121 targets, and wide receiver 31 fantasy points per game. Zay Jones is going to be playing a lot more than what his ADP is indicating. You can get him round 11, round 12, round 13 sometimes. Just depends on the size of the league. But Zay Jones is the player that we want to be taking at cost, I think, versus Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk, I think, will be just fine. He'll get his targets. He'll get his 22% target share. I think Calvin Ridley is still the dog, the number one. He's going to eat. Ridley, over the last 2 seasons that he's played, his median target share has been 25%. And that is what we see from alphas. And we know alphas eat first. It's very clear who's going to get the ball first thrown his way. It's Calvin Ridley. So it's going to be Ridley. And then I think Christian Kirk is still going to have the number 2 target share, but Zay Jones is going to stay on the field more. And that's better for maybe Christian Kirk has a better target rate. But Zay Jones last year, 22% target share, nothing to scoff at. That's very respectable. Could it go down to 18, 17%? Sure. And then it's still paying off on ADP. And we like Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I want you to be adding Zay Jones this week before people realize that he's actually going to be playing more snaps than Christian Kirk. It might be a little wild. As I said, I like a lot of aspects of this Jacksonville Jaguars offense. I'm neutral to a little bit lower than consensus on Travis Etienne. I'm a little below consensus on Evan Ingram, but I'm huge on Zay Jones relative to ADP. I like Christian Kirk, but I'm big on Calvin Ridley. So if we are taking shots on who's going to be a significant mover up our ADP boards and who we should have said, oh, why did we fade this guy during the offseason? Oh, it's Zay Jones because he had 121 targets, 22% target share. And we know target share is pretty sticky year to year. Like that's one of the more consistent things. It's pretty consistent. So we're not going to see a significant shift from Zay Jones this year. Zay Jones is only 28 years old. He's still got the speed. He can still play on the outside. And he took a significant step forward. He went from 6 fantasy points per game in 2021 with the Raiders to 2022, 12.4 points in PPR. So Zay Jones, you have to love it. He was also 12th last year in red zone targets. I think a lot of those end up going to Calvin Ridley because Ridley is that red zone target hog. But yards after the catch was 25th among wide receivers, 17th in receptions last year. And he did drop a lot of passes, but that didn't deter Trevor Lawrence from the opportunity gained by Zay Jones. Like, he was still getting out there despite all the drops. If you like the content, find this helpful, make sure you hit that red subscribe button on the YouTube channel.